the Netherlands, a country full of some amazing roller coasters, and in this video I will be counting down my favourites. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, I really do appreciate it. Number 10. Falcon. Kicking off the list is Falcon at Dine-Rel. For a small thrill coaster, I really enjoyed this ride. As usual with these Gerstlauers, that beyond vertical drop never ceases to amaze me. Falcon itself isn't actually that long, but it does have 2 inversions, and I also really like the setting of this coaster. Dine-Rel is surrounded by a forest, and to compensate, they thought of decorating the supports of the coaster in a wooden aesthetic. Not gonna lie, that's pretty cool if you ask me. Number 9. Python. Python has got to be the smoothest roller coaster I've ever ridden, and I'm not even joking. For a ride built in the 1970s and then refurbished more recently, this coaster runs like a dream. Apart from the sharp brakes, but whatever. Whilst there's no theming to state of, Python is a fun, simple ride that does really well at providing those positive G-forces. These loops are intense, especially if you're in the front or back rows. What does stick out to me though, and not in a positive way, is that Python literally has no theming, which wouldn't be that big of an issue at a typical amusement park, but this is the Efteling, a place full of beautifully themed attractions. Then again, the coaster is of historical significance to the park, so I won't give it too much slack, it's still a fantastic ride. Number 8. The Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman is basically a weird boat ride that, unlike Python, has some amazing theming. The actual coaster is nothing to write home about, but I do like the twisted drop and the final splashdown. Also, watching people getting mildly soaked will never not be entertaining. And that's not to mention some of the surprises during the first part of the ride. However, I won't spoil it here. A final note I do want to say about this coaster is that the soundtrack is an absolute jam. Seriously, I can't get enough of it. Number 7. Lost Gravity. Wallaby Holland debuted Lost Gravity in 2016, and whilst it may be a more rattly ride nowadays, I found the coaster a ton of fun to ride. Lost Gravity's best moment has got to be that epic first drop, but the rest of the ride is no kiddie coaster, with various pops of flowjet airtime and hangtime filled inversions. Also, can I mention that the mix of yellow and black track looks really cool, as well as the theme. It's really creative, and there's various features in the queue line and around the ride course to demonstrate the lack of gravity. Number 6. George and the Dragon. The first wooden coaster on the list, and this is a dueling GCI. The coaster, or coasters, as I should say, are full to the brim of floater airtime pops, as well as some visually appealing interactions with the other train, with the 2 tracks curving over the water right next to the Flying Dutchman. And to top it all off, the soundtrack is pretty good, especially as you hear it when you're going up the lift hills. To be frank, in my opinion, George and the Dragon is literally a better version of Wicker Man at Alton Towers, mainly because it's got a lot more airtime. Number 5. Troy. Another GCI, but not only is it my favourite of the company, but it's also my favourite wooden roller coaster, and it truly deserves that spot. Troy is what I'd consider a large-scale wooden roller coaster. And you know, these wooden coasters aren't normally too intense in terms of the positive G-forces they provide, but dang, Troy is really intense. As well as that, Troy has some great floater airtime. What a fantastic wooden roller coaster. Number 4. Baron 1898. What an experience this attraction is. I stated this in my separate review, but Baron is what I'd consider a perfect theme park roller coaster, and I still stand by that statement. The theming is top notch, the storyline is intriguing, and the actual coaster, although it is a bit short, still provides a fun, re-rideable experience. The ride is super smooth, enjoyable, and I really wish I got more rides on this thing. Number 3. Goliath. Goliath is an Intamin mega coaster that has some of the best airtime I have ever experienced. The T-bar restraints means you feel really exposed as you're going along the ride course, as well as being extremely comfortable. The main complaint most people have with Goliath is these long, swooping turns, but in my opinion, they do provide some force, and being so close to the ground at that angle adds to the thrill factor, especially when you're going over the water. However, the highlight of the ride for me has got to be those final 3 airtime hills. They are absolutely amazing. Number 2. Phoenix. Phoenix is one of those coasters that I could ride all day long. This coaster has some beautiful landscaping around it, an epic soundtrack, and to top it all off, a flipping amazing coaster experience. Just like Baron, the ride isn't that long, but blimey does this thing pack a punch. Great hang time, great airtime, and sustained positive G-forces. What more could you want? This helix after the Immelman is arguably just as intense as the main helix on Nemesis. It's that forceful. I'm so glad I rode Phoenix like 6 or 7 times in a row. I had an absolute blast on this thing. Nonetheless, whilst Phoenix is a phenomenal coaster, it isn't number 1, because that place is for Untamed. Wow. Even to this day I can't believe I've ridden one of the best RMCs in the world. I have never experienced so much eject airtime on one ride in all my life. Untamed literally tries to blast you to the moon with its airtime. As well as the airtime though, the inversions are crazy, with the 270-degree corner stall thing providing weird floater airtime hangtime stuff. I don't know, it's hard to explain. This ride is full of all kinds of messed up elements, and that's what I love about Untamed. It's absolutely bonkers. Not to mention it's a long ride that doesn't waste time with a mid-course brake run or unneeded helices. Nah, this ride is non-stop fun. I cannot wait to get back on Untamed someday and to ride more RMCs in the future. So yeah, those are my top 10 roller coasters in the Netherlands. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.